Welcome, everyone, to another fantastic discussion of What If. I'm Joe here at Fandom Spotlite, and I've been joined by some fantastic, fun, and fanatically brain-hungry people here. First and foremost, I'd like to reintroduce, for those that have missed her over the past couple of weeks because she's been on medical leave, Yali. Welcome
Hi,
back.
everybody. Thank you for all the well wishes. I was very surprised from like random people saying like, "Hope you feel better." I'm like, and you are. so hope you weren't offended. And again, I'm glad to be back. And I'm not the snitch this time. That's Joe's job.
Rude. Shambling in to join us for this episode between Gorges of Brains, we have Mitch. Welcome, Mitch. Thank you for joining us again.
Yes, it is a pleasure. I just finished eating Captain America's brain. I took a shield over there. I'm going to feast on the Vision's. Well, actually, the Vision doesn't have a brain, so.
It's like a CPU, right?
Yeah, more like a chip. Like chips and nachos. Yeah, I'm going to have some Vision computer chips and nacho cheese. Yeah. There you go.
And joining us with his zombie expertise is the governor to talk slaying. Though I'm pretty sure he hasn't come across any walkers like the ones in tonight's
What's
episode.
a zombie? Are you talking about biters? They run around, they bite into people. It's.
I'm pretty sure these ones do a lot more than biting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is kind of weird. I might have to go back to my universe in a little bit, but at least I'll stay here until, maybe someone else shows up, and then. But yeah, biters in the Marvel universe. Wow, that's scary.
So we're going to start with the normal disclaimers of there will be spoilers for tonight's episode, which is last night's episode, I guess at this point, episode 5, which is What If Zombies. But there will be spoilers as we talk everything we enjoyed, maybe didn't enjoy, mostly enjoyed about this episode. What did everyone think? Mitch, we'll start with you.
Oh, well, going into it, I was looking forward to the Marvel Zombies episode since they started showing the previews, like, a year ago, I think, they first started teasing it. So, because I read the Robert Kirkman long before he did The Walking Dead, he did the Marvel Zombies. So I was all set for that. So I had some pretty conceived notions. I'm going to say I enjoyed the show last night, but it wasn't what I thought was going to happen. But it was, again, a well done, well produced, what if episode, but it wasn't the Marvel Zombies that I thought. So I'm going to say 7 out of 10, maybe, if you want to rate it.
I get it. Yali?
I agree with Mitch. I really, really enjoyed the original 5 episode thing or comics of the Marvel Zombies. That was just like the idea of horror and superheroes like that, but it seemed to me at the time the first of its kind. So when I watched it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some of that, and I got some of it. I didn't get exactly what I remember, but I did enjoy it. Like I said, there was a little bit of a disappointment just because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But I agree, it's definitely like a 7 out of 10. It was beautifully done. It looked good. I actually cried twice during the episode. But it was, I think this is one of those series that maybe needed its own series, not just one episode in the What If show.
I mean, we know how it ends already.
Yeah.
Governor.
Well, you see, in my universe, we don't have any zombie movies or comic books, so I came over here and I saw this and I was like, what the hell? What's a zombie? Why aren't they being called biters or walkers or, rotters? There's all kinds of names for them. But I have to say, not being familiar with the original.
The Governor.
It was a fun thing. It was interesting to see that, these zombie creatures, as you call them, still retained their powers and abilities and knowledge and instincts. The biters in my world just shamble around, so it was quite different to see, Steve Rogers, Captain America, with his shield, fighting with, the skill that he normally does. When I face biters, they're like...
And to be fair, a lot of them were.
A lot of them were pretty, but they seemed a little more spry than my biters. But I think it was fun. I would give it 8 out of 10, just because I'm a little put off by, them having all these abilities after they turn. So, but yeah, it was fun, and I do agree. I'd like to see a Marvel Zombies series. Now, it could be in a different world because there's, all these different worlds. It could start out slightly different. It could, maybe that would be a kind of cool thing. And besides, since Walking Dead's leaving, you need a replacement. So there you go.
Yeah.
So I think it would be fun.
Which, talking about the differences and how they start and stuff, is a good way to segue into it. This is another episode where we don't see the choice that sets this on the path. But even then, there isn't really a choice. It's not like in the previous episodes where there was a decision made at some point, even if the decision was made before. For the most part, everything's the same, except like X equals 2 this time instead of X equals 1. And it starts with Ant-Man and the Wasp, which, take a drink.
Take a drink, guys.
Yeah.
With Janet Van Dyne being rescued from the quantum realm, but instead of being like magical healing powers, Janet, she's chew their brains out, Janet. And then it just goes from there.
There would be a choice, though. She made some choice in the quantum realm that led her to be infected instead of making a choice that led her not to be infected. So it was a subtle choice, maybe turning left instead of right, maybe eating something that she shouldn't have had, but at some point she made a choice, and that's what got her infected. So there was a choice somewhere.
Even then, it's just the way they present it is just more of like, what if she contracted a disease while she was there?
Well, yeah, because I was starting to think, well, what did she eat for those 20 or 30 years? Because there's nothing in the quantum realm except those weird little microbe, fat little bug things that are floating around. Maybe that's what she was munching on.
Did she like wander in a different direction?
I don't know. That's you start asking these questions about it, and then you're like, wait a second. If the Hulk is being transported from where Asgard was, demolished or whatever, and then comes to the Earth, but the Earth's already been wiped out, why are they still there? Like they're using like the portals, and Doctor Strange is using them, and a lot of stuff didn't make sense. I get they're trying to adapt the Infinity War and all that stuff into the zombie. Maybe that's why I had a problem with it. They shouldn't have started with.
It just happened so quick.
Yeah, there's too much going on. And I'm like, wait a second. If Iron Man is that smart still, that he can still use his technology and his armor and all that, and Doctor Strange has enough brain cells left that he can conjure up magical spells, why are they still there? Why didn't he just like create something where they would go to other planets and just eat more people? Or why doesn't he make a spell that wipes out time and goes back and cures everybody? There's too much. I guess you can't start thinking about that because then it ruins the whole thing. You're like, wait, none of this is making sense right now.
That's like.
I'm sorry, I just kind of caught a continuity error at the very last scene when they showed Thanos now as a beta zombie, whatever, and he had the Infinity Gauntlet, and he seemed to have all the stones, but there's one on that quad jet, in the possession of Peter Parker, so he can't have all the stones.
Well, they did show the one on the back was missing.
Yeah, it was empty.
Like it was I guess supposed to represent he was still missing the Mind Stone, but like how the heck did zombie Thanos get the Soul Stone for all?
And including the Time Stone is like, did he find Strange somewhere?
Well, see, that's the thing. I think this would have been a much better episode if they just didn't try to segue and wedge it into the Infinity War story. You could have just done.
So if you were going to drop it, if you were going to drop it in the middle of the MCU, where would you drop it? Because I have an idea.
Oh, I think the first, if you want to get one where they're all together, the first Avengers movie would have been a good place to start. Like maybe Loki brings the Chitauri in, but the Chitauri are like an alien zombie race and they start infecting the Earth. And then Loki's, lord of this world of the undead or something. That's, I don't know. I would have gone there with it instead of, or wait a minute. I'm just thinking Ultron wanted to wipe out the human race.
I was thinking
he could have
Ultron
come up with
too.
A virus that would have wiped out everybody and turned them into zombies.
Comment.
That would make a better movie.
Even if you didn't have Ultron do that, like just the dead Sokovians, like that's the ramifications of what they did. They all just come back as zombies and like.
Or Tony Stark came up with a virus that got loose that somehow is going to wipe out the bad robots or something, and it turned out to turn everyone into zombies because, Or like a nanite. It was like a little tiny nanite that got into people's blood cells and turned them into, Yeah, there's better stories in the Marvel MCU that you could have dropped this into instead
or if they wanted to go with the Ant-Man side of things, when Scott came back from the quantum realm in the first Ant-Man, he could have accidentally brought it back with him.
He could have done that. Yeah.
I think they were trying to make this version of make Marvel Zombies more accessible to people who hadn't read the comic. Just like, okay, more than likely people who are watching the show seen at least Infinity War. So if we try to incorporate in this, it makes it more accessible because they go, oh, I remember that scene in Infinity War, and I remember these characters. It's like they try to make it too accessible, and so it really changed it from the originals. Too many liberties.
And you know what? There was one thing I gotta say, that if I was scheduling this episode, I would have put this before what if T'Challa became Star-Lord, because we all know Chadwick Boseman's gone, and they build it as this is his final performance as T'Challa. I wouldn't have gone out with him dying as a zombie is the last thing you want to remember him as the Black Panther as. I would have done the other episode where he was, like a Star-Lord. He was more vibrant. He was alive. He was healthy, not lying on a table with his half-eaten leg. I'm like, wow, that's not really the way I want to remember this guy's final performance.
I'm pretty sure we have at least one more episode with him.
Oh, is it? Okay, because I thought that was it.
So. Yeah, but that was just when he was talking in the plane. Like, that's when I started crying, because he's like, death isn't the end, and like having him hear that speech and knowing that he did pass away, I was just like, oh, they're doing it to me one more time. Like, I can't do this right now. Like, I was losing. I was like, oh, not to zombies. I can't be crying right now. So
I tell you, I was surprised. I was surprised Spider-Man was in it, because I've been noticing like, oh, they're only sticking with the movie characters, and that maybe that Sony has a deal with they can't have that version of Spider-Man. But then when he showed up, I'm like, oh, they are. But are they never going to introduce any of the other Marvel Universe characters, or are we just sticking with the cinematic universe for these shows? We're not going to have like, the Silver Surfer
or Daredevil.
Or Daredevil.
I don't know why. Well, they never like specified who Kurt was, and I kept saying like he reminds me of Kurt Wagner, so maybe he's like Kurt if he never became Nightcrawler.
No, yeah. Kurt is.
Oh no, Kurt was
Ant-Man.
Dave
the Small Chick. I don't remember Ant-Man well.
He's the Bubba guy.
But he reminded me more of like Kurt Wagner, like him, because Kurt Wagner in the comics always talked about Baba Yaga and all some of those same like isms. I was like, wouldn't that be great if that was like Kurt Wagner, but for some reason he never became Nightcrawler. Like, but I guess
he's one of the ex-cons.
Well, the ex-cons, instead of X-Men. The best part was the talking Paul Rudd had. Yes. No matter what happens, I want Funko Pop to make that figure tomorrow. That's all he did.
With the cape. With
the cape.
You need a cape, yeah. That was the highlight of the episode.
What we lost was, from the comic, we lost Deadpool's head floating around as a zombie, and instead we got talking Ant-Man head, which is I'm perfectly fine with.
Who's still just as self-centered with just the head than the whole
community. Paul Rudd is an.
He's like, I lost everybody. He's like, no, you didn't. He's like, who? He's like, me, and I'm like, oh yeah, everyone keeps forgetting you're here. Peter's like, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot you were an Avenger. Well, I kind of am. Yeah. That's it.
This is a last minute thing.
He didn't get the knighting thing that Peter got.
No, he did not. No.
All he got from Tony Stark was who are you again?
Exactly.
But so what do we all think of the kind of like twist move towards it, where they reveal Vision and then everything Vision's doing?
Oh god, that was so dark.
Yeah.
What was like Vision? Like, not you.
It's kind of the juxtaposition of WandaVision, where she couldn't accept his death, he couldn't accept her undeath. So it was a very similar. It shows their bond.
I saw a thing online. Someone was commenting saying, like, can Wanda and Vision just have a happy ending somewhere, please? Anywhere? No.
Romeo and Juliet of the comic book world.
Even if they do have a happy ending, it never lasts. Like, even if it's not like external forces conspiring against them, eventually they're just like, yeah, we can't.
They themselves eventually just end up divorcing, and then Vision makes his own family. It's just like, you know what I mean? So they just can't. It can't work. And we want it for them. They want it for them, but it's just not meant to be.
You know what, though? I was going to say the horror part of it was really, I mean, again, was this a TV 14 rating or something like that?
Yeah.
Because as soon as it started, when Sharon Carter gets taken out,
Captain
America shows up and he just like eats her, and then the wasp goes inside of her and blows her up like that. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that is so messed up.
I mean, she didn't go up her ass as.
No, I was thinking of a Thanos.
That's a different Marvel what if.
No. But that they finally solved that. What if Ant-Man went up Thanos' butt and blew him up? Because basically that's what happened there. But no, I was surprised how quick they turn fast, don't they? Ask the governor about that. About on a scale of 1 to 10 on the quickness of the zombie virus. Where would you put this? Was this a?
I think they turn at the speed of plot. Whatever the plot needs, because I've noticed I've been watching Fear the Walking Dead, and they turn like really fast there. In the old days, it's like they'd be dead for a while, there. At least a few minutes, like shit. In the first season, you'd be sitting there for hours, and then they'd reanimate. And now I don't know if it's something where they're saying the virus is getting more,
mutating.
It's a humidity thing. It's a humidity thing.
It's the Delta variant of the zombie.
Yeah, there we go.
Wait a minute.
No, it's true. I remember when Shane on Walking Dead turned in minutes after he got killed. I was like, wait, we're doing that now? They get that fast they can do it? And now the kid that just got eaten on the subway train 2 weeks ago, that was pretty quick too, So
well, they had someone that was being treated by June. And he laid back down for a second, and then he came back up a bite it. It's like, whoa, that's really fast. So yeah, the virus must be mutating or something like that. In my day, we had at least a little bit of time, and Dr. Jenner and the CDC did all these tests to see how long it would take. Yeah, and he did say it varied per person, but yeah, now it's like, all right, you're dead. Now you're undead. There you go.
I thought if they were ever going to do a Stan Lee cameo, this would have been the episode.
Oh, yeah. But would have been too soon.
It's been a couple years now, so I don't know.
I don't know that I want to see Stan Lee as a Vita.
Yeah. He passed on my birthday. That's very triggering for me. So I just can't. It wouldn't work for me. It's a bad birthday that year.
So of all the, I guess we're going to call them enhanced walkers. Who is our favorites enhanced?
Oh,
I'd say giant wasp at the end because that's huge. I thought they were all going to just devour her like a giant buffet when she fell back. I was like, they're all just gonna there's gonna be nothing left. They'll be on that for a couple months, but no, she was up and fighting, and there was no.
I guess they couldn't get through the suit.
They couldn't get through her outfit. Yeah.
I mean, but there was a one regular zombie dude who just punched the shit out of her visor thing. I was just who's this random dude who's just as strong as any of the Avengers?
Well, here's the thing too.
His job.
Is the Hulk invulnerable? Is that what we were supposed to take it? Once Bruce Banner was running through that crowd, I'm like, oh, he's going to get bitten a lot before he gets there. But somehow
there was
Hulk, nah.
There was the scene they established relatively early where one tried to bite him and Hulk turned the arm green and it couldn't pierce the skin. So, and Hulk's weird enough that what they talk about in the first Avengers movie was I tried to put a bullet in my head and the other guy spit it out. So Hulk's pretty quick.
It's the immortal Hulk. There you go.
That being said,
Wanda was the coolest, I think. Yeah. Enhanced Walker because she was just as strong, if not stronger. I think the chaos magic was enhanced by her being dead. You know what I mean? It's just even more chaotic.
The lack of self-control.
Yeah, she was just super almost I guess she earned her Omega title of being an X-Men because she was just very strong, very quick-witted. She seemed to analyze the situation better than some of the other ones. So I think Wanda was my favorite one out of those. And
she also grieved a little bit for Vision, which is weird because
I think they went with if I may talk for a moment about zombies. I think they went with the idea that at some point they start reenacting what they did in life when there's no other external force or driver. So I think that's the idea is why Dead Strange can keep using magic and why Dead Stark still can use his suit is they know the muscle memory is still there and the memories themselves are, you're itching your arm. Why are you itching your arm? Did you get bit?
That's how it starts.
Well, we'll see how long it takes for him to turn.
Yeah. No, you're right. I remember the original Walking Dead. Remember the first season? They had people that were sitting in a church in the pews, and then the Morgan's wife would turn the doorknob. She knew enough to like try to get into the house, but they forgot all that stuff. They don't even refer back to that.
They used to be able to climb ladders and stairs and, you know. I don't know. And maybe as the virus mutated or showrunners changed, they decided that, you know, the zombies would lose more of their muscle memory and, you know, the brain would decay a little bit more.
Yeah. Time is a cruel thing. All right. So like personally, I think my favorite might have been Falcon, as silly as it is, because he was doing all this crazy crap as Falcon without an arm. And I just thought that was hilarious.
And Bucky didn't care that he died. I was like, what happened to your whole relationship?
No. Happy Hogan was... Go ahead.
Oh, that was, I mean, but that's Bucky directly from Civil War, basically. So, like, they still kind of hated each other. Like, you know, they were friends, but...
Just a little, maybe one man tier, just, you know.
No, I was hoping we were going to get, like, Happy Hogan in the War Machine outfit with like a gut sticking out, like, you know, it didn't go all the way down. Because I'm like, if you're gonna do this, where are the other characters? Where are the ones that we know? Like, where is
Rhodes?
War Machine?
Yeah, where is Rhodes or Iron Patriot or whatever we're
Iron Patriot? Week? Did not make the list. Where's Quicksilver? I don't know.
I'm excited Okoye was there. She is literally one of my favorite characters from that movie. Lasting as long as she did, it was. But, you know.
There was something oddly familiar about that character that I just didn't like. Made my eyes itch, right? You know?
Yeah. Can't put a finger on it, but...
Yeah.
She had two swords in her hand. Boy, they could have really played that up. They did not.
Okay, so what about what was everyone's favorite scene? Like moments or event that happened in the episode that you really liked? Because I know we've talked about our favorite enhanced, so to speak, but like my favorite, for example, was Spider-Man slingshotting the train. I just thought it was great.
That was very cool.
The Tobey Maguire bit.
They got to do stuff with trains. I love I just like that like Peter's doing this video and like Bucky doesn't have the awareness to know like he's filming and he's like, I'll just take a shower. I'm pretty sure they'll never come in here. Or I'm like. I thought that was hilarious. And he was like, I could just like, I could like choke you and like kill you. And he was like, okay, and just do the axe spray then, because like we don't need another murder, in the video. I thought that was really hilarious. And it shows like Bucky's weird sense of humor, which is always violent. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't just know how to make a joke. He's doesn't involve some sort of farm. Yeah. So I thought that was really funny. And I really liked the whole like the callback, like, guess that was the end of the line, Cap. I was like, they have to like the callbacks were crazy. Yeah. Like Bucky had a lot of the callbacks from.
They do go out of their way on these shows. Yeah, they do a lot of references. Yeah,
hey, Matt is here. Okay,
the prodigal son has returned.
Matt, welcome.
The governor is here.
Thank you guys. Oh, the governor. On zombies.
Zombies. I had to break in. I was thinking of leaving when you got here, but no.
Please stay. Please do.
I gotta say that cape. I mean, I loved actually David Dastmalchian's character. Just his sense of humor and his Baba Yaga stuff. But the cape had to be. He was
magic
just
carpet,
awesome.
But just with magic powers.
Better magic carpet, if we're being honest.
There you go.
So, Matt, we're going to catch you up on some of the questions that we've been talking about so far. So, and of course, you've seen the episode.
Absolutely.
What did you think overall?
I loved it. I'm starting to get on my own conspiracy train that these episodes are like subtle nods to stuff that they want to do in the MCU. And I don't know if they're like testing it out, but I really thought that the fact that the zombie virus came from Janet Van Dyne being stuck in the quantum realm, that's a way to bring the mutants in here. If I do say so myself.
Who were in the original Marvel zombies and they weren't involved in this one.
Yeah, so I'm starting to think that these shows are like we've all said they're like interconnected somehow, but I feel like they're like trying to like wink at us, like, oh hey, this might be something we might mess around with this in the movies or somewhere. But yeah, it's like that just makes total sense. Like if the powers that she got from the quantum realm like did like spawn like mutants and stuff like off the zombies. But no, but I love this episode. I hope that they give us the conclusion to this in season 2 or something. There's a lot of episodes that ended on like cliffhangers, and I was like, I hope that they just don't leave it like that. Please don't.
Well, or maybe they're just trying to see, you know, which of these storylines they should have, like, you know, a multi-part, you know, a little Marvel Zombie miniseries here, and, you know, maybe something with, you know, Loki's occupation as a miniseries there, and, you know, the rebellion, or maybe just a standalone what if movie.
Well, you know what's cool? I'm thinking when they do the multiverse of madness, that Doctor Strange goes through all these different worlds, like for just a montage, and he flies through the Marvel zombie world that we just saw animated, but they do as a live action. Because imagine he's just like trying to fight off different things. He's hopping through planes of existence wherever, and he lands here, and you go, oh, I saw that on What If, and now here it is. You know exactly where he is.
It makes sense.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're trying to do. Just introduce you to all these different worlds.
And it's one way to recast Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans without pissing anybody off, because hey,
very true.
Their flesh is practically, you know, falling off. So,
and he didn't have any lines.
He didn't.
Saved a lot of money on that one.
So all of our enhanced undead, all of our superhero undead and stuff. Which one was your favorite, Matt?
Can we point out that Hawkeye missed the shot? Like, whoa, whoa, zombie Hawkeye. I love the zombie happy because he still kept doing the pshow, because I was just thinking, like, in a logical world, if any of us in real life got like an Iron Man blaster, even if it made the noise, we're still gonna make the noise.
Oh yeah,
blam.
But this is the same thing about like when the people were filming Star Wars, they would make the noise of the lightsaber for just like you have to stop doing it. Like, okay, next take.
Absolutely.
The whole time.
Yeah, I have to admit, in a film that I was in, when I was punching, I was kind of making. The sound and the impact, and it's like, no, you can't do that.
The only time I never had to do that when I was a kid and play fighting and stuff is when I had those Power Ranger gloves that made sounds when you made the moves themselves.
Those were the best.
Yeah, totally awesome.
I wasn't allowed to have toy guns, so I ran around with a wiffle bat, pretending that was a rifle.
Or
it makes a nice sound if you swing it hard enough.
Yeah.
Very nice sound.
No, we would shoot each other with these wiffle ball bats and then say, no, I got you first. No, I got you first. And the arguments would last longer than the playtime. So
totally.
We all have the same childhood.
I'm a tabletop role player.
It sure seems like it.
I'm a tabletop role player. The arguments always last longer than playtime. So then finally, Matt, of your favorite. Oh no, another question. If not how they introduce zombies, where in the MCU could they put the zombie drop in? Because we talked about the fact that they basically used Ant-Man and the Wasp.
There you go. I thought of that whole episode. I was like, I can't wait.
again, showing us how dangerous Hank Pym can be.
Right. Absolutely.
But where else would they drop him in?
No, I would definitely say a case could be made for like the multiverse of madness. I mean, it just makes sense.
Well, I mean, like in MCU past, like in movies we've already seen.
But, yeah.
We all kind of had a consensus.
Civil War zombies would be fire.
But then they didn't really do Civil War, so like then they're gonna throw in zombies.
But maybe that was with the Hydra base.
Yeah, Hydra experiment gone wrong. They were working on a super soldier virus.
Yeah, there you go.
That makes sense.
There you go.
And
blame it on Zemo.
Yeah. A lot of us came up with the idea that like Ultron's like, you know what, why drop a rock when I could just have them kill each other?
Oh yeah, that's definitely Ultron-esque for sure.
Totally.
There are no strings on me.
I actually really enjoyed that. I was like, Disney doing Disney.
So then
every episode now it seems like there's a cram down my throat Disney reference. That's what Scott Lang say? What Limgardian with your son with the Harry Potter?
With the Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So finally, of the questions I've already asked and we've chatted and have, what's your favorite scene from this episode?
Oh, there were so many good ones. That whole Chadwick Boseman talking about like death not being the end, that definitely tugged at my heartstrings. But I would say that whole that train fight scene was dope. Like Bucky going through there, because I don't know if that was an accident or if it was a coincidence, but Governor, on episode 2 of The Walking Dead, when Norman Reedus was going through like that one shot, kind of capping the zombies in like that same shot. Yeah.
That was actually, I had to take my hat off, not that I wear a hat, to Daryl, because, I'm not a big fan of Daryl because,
obvious reasons.
For many reasons. But that scene was badass. Him going through that train and just, doing the little Jack Reacher type,
exactly.
Jason Bourne or what is the one who got the dog killed?
John Wick.
John Wick.
It was like all those wrapped into one in Daryl just for that moment.
But, that train, but it did make me question like, what was Hope's armor made out of? Because when they first showed the cut, I was like, oh, that's like the sleeve. No, it was like legit the armor shoulder pad, like a teeth mark through it. And I was like, what was that thing made of?
Yeah,
what's going on here?
For me, it's the train was, and I mentioned the train is also my favorite scene, but more for the Spider-Man side of it, using the slingshot technique.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
I love how much of a reverse Invincible it was for those that watched Invincible.
Trigger warning. You're supposed to say trigger warning for the people.
He said, but I'd have you, Dad. Oh, you would have him.
So
that train scene also answers the question, which superhero would eat? And we now know Captain America definitely would, because he did eat Sharon. So think about it. If you really think about it, Captain Rogers did his duty at the end. You know what I'm saying? And it was with Sharon specifically. So really think about it.
It might be his like, grandniece or some shit. Come on.
He didn't eat Bucky. He ate Sharon. Remember that, guys.
I also really dug that the zombie virus thing did not discriminate between like creatures, because Ebony Maw was up and telekinesising about just shortly after Tony ripped his throat out.
Absolutely.
All right. So what other commentary do we have about this episode in general? Because, we covered some of the finer points of this episode. I did also personally, I enjoyed like towards the end when they were fleeing the base, how much it felt like a dark mirror version of Civil War, because it was like one of them going like, I'm going to hold them off, go to the jet. And I'm like, wow, this is like, true. This is almost like identical to the whole situation.
Very true. Very true. The one thing that like I wonder, I don't know if they thought this far ahead or if it was just kind of like a shock factor. So with Zombie Thanos, if we're going off the logic that they followed the Infinity Wars movie. So we're assuming, with Ebony Maw coming down, they were coming to get the Time Stone. So we're assuming that Thanos, because Banner got dropped down on the Bleecker Street. So we're assuming, Thanos got the Power Stone and everything. So
and Space
Stone. So how did he get infected? Because the Time Stone, Zombie Strange got dusted by the ants. So he could just pick that up off the streets. Right. And then the Mind Stone was in Wakanda. So I was like, I'm trying to figure out how Thanos with a semi-packed Infinity Gauntlet got turned into a zombie. I'm wondering.
There's deeper questions like how the heck did he get his hands on the Soul Stone?
I was thinking that too when you said that. Yeah.
On the flip of that, if he did somehow get his hands on the Soul Stone, maybe it lets him control zombies. Who knows? If the Mind Stone is zombie repellent, maybe the Soul Stone is like zombie controller.
Mm-hmm. That'd be crazy.
It would be.
That makes sense. I think the downside of this episode for me is it was too different from the original, but also for some reason it felt like a filler episode, because I know it wasn't originally supposed to be this episode, like it was supposed to be towards the end. So I'm kind of wondering why they switched it, because it really didn't have too much, like it didn't feel relevant like right after the last one. I guess because the last one was dark, or like we'll do another dark episode, even though it did have some comedy. And then my other problem with it is like Vision could have just took Wanda to like another place, like instead of
like
killing humans on Earth. Like he could have just, because it seemed like she could have survived long enough without eating. So why not just take her somewhere where there are no people? So I do appreciate like he loves her so much. He's willing to do mass genocide, to make sure she's good. But
true love.
But it's
brings
just
a
like
tear to the eye.
He's usually more logical, and it's just weird to see him be like, well, we'll just trick people to come over here and she could just eat them, or we could just go somewhere else. Like
he eats some of them.
No,
just
there was a lot. There was a lot, and she already took T'Challa's one leg, so it's just like there's a lot happening there. So it just felt like a weird filler episode, and I think it deserved more.
I'm just thinking, what if?
I think that the zombies it needs to be its own series because there's a lot they could do with it, especially if they want to follow the original or any of the sequels to it. It's just like this, and then like having to wait until a potential second season of What If, like that's too much. That's too much time. Like we're gonna watch it, obviously, but.
So my question, and this actually applies to my universe with Biters as well as Marvel. At what point do they stop eating somebody? At what point do they like turn while they're being eaten, and then they're like, "Oh, this doesn't taste good anymore"? What's going on? Why are these people not being entirely consumed and then coming back? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, at the point of like actual full-on death, and like there might be like a pheromone release. I don't know. It's a weird virus that affects indiscriminately and lets people keep superpowers. So like, I don't know, man.
It crosses species too, but it's a quantum virus, so I guess it goes everywhere.
I will say that like there's way more terrifying ideas behind like what's actually could happen from this, because Strange and Wong aren't the only sorcerers on Earth. Right. So like there's like hundreds of zombie sorcerers out there, and that's just not good. That's just not good at all.
Mordu's like, fuck.
No. Here's the problem I have. So you got the Watcher who's watching all these multiverses going on, but the original Marvel zombies, if you really want to get into it, was in the Ultimate Fantastic Four, and they left their universe and spread all across the thing. So I kept thinking that was going to happen with Thanos showing up at the end. You know how they just showed Peggy Carter and her world and Captain Carter, and then they showed that evil Doctor Strange last week, and then you had T'Challa as the Star-Lord. You really could tie all these shows up. This should have been the finale of this whole series. I don't know, what is it, 10 episodes or whatever? I would have moved this,
it was like number 9 originally.
Yeah, I would have moved this towards the end and said, oh, by the way, all those other stories we showed you, they all got wiped out because this Thanos snapped his fingers and went into all the different universes, and then it could be a bigger problem. Because I honestly thought when the show started, when we saw Captain Carter, that maybe they were going to build like the Warriors of the Multiverse or something like that. Like they were going to team up and pluck like all these different heroes out and have this
Secret
big
War
underlying story, just like they did with Loki and just like they did with WandaVision. Like maybe all these what ifs are going to tie together for some big story arc. Yeah, but I don't think they're going that way right now. I think they're all standalones.
I think they are, but they're doing selectively. Like I don't think all of them are going to tie together, because the final episode is called Infinite Ultron.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's kind of the situation where somehow Ultron in one of the realities is like, oh, you mean I can just visit other realities? And then someone, if I had to guess, Doctor Strange, who feels really guilty about destroying his reality, is kind of like, well, maybe we should stop this guy from destroying other realities, and starts plucking people from the multiverse that could help him.
Oh, he didn't learn his lesson about leaving shit alone.
He never does.
just leave it alone.
Never learns that no matters.
Yeah, kind of like what Yali was saying about the episode being moved. I remember reading somewhere that they had to scrap a whole episode that was supposed to be Guardians of the Galaxy centric.
Oh, really?
They said it was way too close to something that they want to actually do in the MCU later on. They said like the source material like was almost like identical to a future Guardians movie. So I don't know if that was the reason why they had to like shuffle.
Yeah, what was the episode that was supposed to add? Does anyone know?
It's a good question.
According to the list, it was going to be Party Thor.
Yeah, Party Thor was supposed to be next. It was like supposed to like take turns doing like dark light.
I remember we said that last week. I forgot that we had mentioned that Party Thor was supposed to be coming.
Party Thor was supposed to be this one, and it's the whole what if Thor was exiled to Earth but was still worthy of Mjolnir kind of thing. Right.
Yeah. So you could tell there's definitely been a reshuffle, because what happens is whenever What If drops on a Wednesday, the next day I'll get an email from Hot Topic or Funko with the Funko Pop based on the episode that was there. So I said, watch me see all the Captain America zombies today. There was none of that. None. So I was like, somebody shuffled, you're right, the schedule up, because every week they tie into whatever episode just did, and there was nothing this week. Not a t-shirt.
Up until this episode, the schedule that we got was accurate.
Yeah.
Because this was supposed to be like 7 or 8. Like
it was supposed to be
like 2 or 3 more weeks.
I would have held it up for Halloween time. That would have been perfect, next month. So
that is a good idea.
But we still have like one involving Killmonger and Tony Stark.
That's next. They already released a small teaser trailer for it, saying that was the next one. So
I'm wondering where Party Thor lies, unless Party Thor was the episode they cut.
I'm super intrigued as to what the Guardians episode they got cut was. What was so we don't want to drop this bomb on y'all outside of a movie theater.
Well, hopefully they'll include it in a future,
right?
It's like, okay, this is the one that we couldn't show you then, but we can show you now because the movie's already out.
Well, one of the clips that's been floating around online too involves it had Gamora holding Thanos' double-bladed sword or double-sided sword alongside T'Challa and some other people. I didn't catch what everyone was because it was doing an Avengers that 360 camera move. So I saw other people there, but I didn't see what it was. So I'm kind of wondering if whatever they were going to do with the Guardians episode had to do with that Gamora's origins.
When they started animating these last year before COVID broke out, you're wondering, is there going to be any Shang-Chi episode? Is there going to be a Black Widow episode? Because they probably originally thought, those movies would come out in 2020 and this cartoon would be in 2021. So they probably animated it a while back. So
that's a good point.
Well, I heard that there was a Black Widow episode, but then just the movie got delayed and then she was already complaining before she sued. So it just got scrapped for a multitude of reasons.
I was under the impression the episode where it ended up being Hank Pym killing everyone.
People are gonna be so drunk today.
Was actually something about Black Widow killed Tony Stark. That's what I was under the impression. So I don't know.
Too. I did. Yeah.
I don't know what they decided to change or move around, or if they did. But. So I don't know. All I know is we still have Infinite Ultron, Party Thor, and something to do with Killmonger. And there's only 4 episodes left? 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's only 4 episodes left.
And there's that scene that they showed where Beetle, Cape Strange, and Captain Carter were having a conversation. So I don't know where that.
Yeah, I'm wondering drops. If I wonder if the finale, episodes 8 and 9, is going to do a 2-parter thing. Where it's them forming this team of heroes of the multiverse, and the final episode is them facing Infinite Ultron. Which, by the way, Ultron is on the posters for What If.
So you would
haven't
think.
Seen him yet.
You would think, but they already switching it up, so it's hard to take. I mean, it's possible that they switched it up on purpose because of worrying about leaks or things getting out there, or people
Party Thor was drunk; he couldn't show up on time for the episode, so they had to delay it a week.
Missed the call time.
But I just thought it was funny that that the episode was switched, and also I don't know if it was filmed or re-recorded, because it didn't seem like the watcher cared too much about this universe.
No, he wasn't either. Except
he
that
barely,
one shot, with him watching.
He had 2 lines the whole thing. Then the other ones he talked way more. I was I don't think even he gives a shit about.
He said, "Y'all get the point already."
Last time he interacted
he intervened.
Well, because Strange saw him. I mean, that was ultimately the whole reason, is Strange could pick up on his presence, and there wasn't really anyone around this time that could, I guess, for lack of a better term.
I don't know. But Zombie Strange should still be able to see him. I don't know. It just seems like the watcher didn't give a shit about this place at all. He was just not important.
I think the reason Dark Strange was able to see him was because he absorbed all that power.
Yes.
regular Doctor Strange at normal power levels can't detect the Watcher, but when he's like absorbed tentacles and all this other shit, he's like, I'm
if you will.
super powered. And
it was the garden. It was the garden gnome that set him over the top. That's
because they've been doing variations of the movies and stuff. They did a Doctor Strange based on the movie. They did the zombie one, was on Infinity War. I'm wondering, because as a Captain America fan, I was always mad that they didn't do more World War II Captain America stories. And one of the original What If comic books was like, what if Captain America, died during World War II or something like that. And they kind of did it with Captain Carter. But I'm wondering if they're going to go back and reintroduce some of the elements that they didn't touch on, because there was a Human Torch prototype. I don't know if they have the right. Well, they have the rights to everything now.
They
could they do an Invaders story like this?
Namor,
Namor would be cool or something like that.
It would be interesting because we do know there will be a second season of What If. It and Loki are the only ones that have been given like the green light for second season so far. Also, I think they're the only ones that they're like, we can just do second seasons of this.
Right.
Because WandaVision really doesn't need a second season. It was really good as a one piece, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier is leading up to the fourth Captain America.
Right.
So, but I'm kind of wondering if like the second season isn't going to be next year. If we're going to get it in like 2 or 3 years when some more of these movies dropped, and we have some more.
You're running out of characters already. I was like, wow, they got Spider-Man. Who haven't they used really? They had the Hulk. They've done them all really.
Well, there's always variations. There's I think there's going to be one of the versions that we're going to get to see. Oh no, that's for the video game commercial I saw. Never mind. I saw the commercial for one of the expansions of
Marvel Avengers.
The Marvel Avengers from Square Enix, and it had like Warlord Hulk. And I was like, oh no, I saw that wrong one. Yeah. Mastermind or something. I don't remember. Whichever Hulk he was that week.
One of them Hulks.
The Maestro.
The Maestro.
So what future stories, because we kind of have an idea where most of these are going to go. I think of the 4 that are left, we kind of have an idea what 3 of them are going to be at the very least, roughly. What kind of other stories, either what if or not what if, would you guys like to see?
What if Nick Fury became Captain Marvel? That would be interesting because you have it back in the 90s. I mean, it's there. He's one of the other. They haven't really done a lot with his character. I'd like to see him become like a superhero character on the show.
They could do what if it was Mephisto the whole time?
Yeah.
The entire time. And they show you all the times it was Mephisto.
It wasn't Agatha.
It wasn't Agatha. It was Mephisto the entire time. And then the internet just explodes with happiness because it finally got what the fuck they wanted.
What if Tony Stark died in that cave? Like,
what if he didn't build it in a cave with Stark?
Right, that's what I'm saying. He kind of set off the chain of events for a lot of stuff.
What if the Red Skull blew up New York and took over? There you go. What if the Red Skull took over the war?
Kind of do the more recent versions of the Wolfenstein video games where they won. I'd like to see
the Man in the High Castle.
Yeah. I'd like to see a World War Hulk.
Yep.
Where what if Hulk was shipped off by the smartest people on the planet and he got real mad about it?
Oh, that would be a good one if you did a Ragnarok one. What you could do with Valkyrie, because I'm trying to think who they haven't used. They haven't used Hela yet. They haven't used Suitor. There's a lot of the Thor stuff.
Yeah, they haven't used a lot of the Thor stuff. They've really run the gamut on the Ant-Man stuff.
Yeah.
That was for you.
Guys, don't drive home. Don't drive home tonight. Get an Uber, a Lyft, crash at your friends, please.
But it would be interesting to see. I would like to kind of see them for the next season branch out and use more of the characters they haven't used yet. Like, I think a cool take would be like a Red Sun style. Like, what if the Eternals just decided to get involved on stuff? And they're like, what?
Really good.
If we're supposed to make sure humanity stays safe, we'll make them stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
What if
Justice style?
What if the Warriors 3 didn't get taken out in 2 seconds by Hela?
Yeah.
That would
be
a
my
good
god,
movie. Yeah.
So depressing.
Oh, they could do one of the original ones, like the fun one, like what if Spider-Man was in the Fantastic Four?
Yeah, right.
And, like, actually have some fun episodes because it doesn't have to always be deep or complicated. No. Like, there were a lot of fun ones in the What If series.
Yeah, well, I kind of feel like this one was meant to be kind of like, this isn't deep or complicated. It's just kind of like
zombies.
Nothing complicated about zombies.
Just zombies.
No, but there's a lot of original fun ones. I would love for them to do like what if the Avengers, like all of the like cute animal ones. So there's like Spider Ham and Frog Thor
Yeah.
and like Gator Loki
that'd
and
be dope.
Panda Pool, like just all the animal versions of them. Like that would be something cute because they do still have to sell merchandise. So like you want a couple episodes where they're more geared to children, so that way those kids go, "Mommy, I want that thing." Like we gotta think business. We gotta think business.
I was just thinking, what if like Howard Stark? They do it like a whole. Well, they kind of did it with the Iron Man. I was gonna say, what if they did like an Avengers in the '50s type of thing? And you got Howard Stark, you got Isaiah Bradley as Captain America.
Yeah,
you could bring all those characters in.
That'd be really dope. I'd like that. That's fine.
Or what if Loki had succeeded in killing Thanos?
Oh yeah, when he went to do that, that would be cool.
He'd get his hands on those stones and. Throws all that character development out the window.
pull a Jamie Lannister.
Yes, at the last minute, like damn it,
throw it all away.
We loved you.
Right. Somehow you made us love you, and now
I also I'm very interested to see if the next season has a lot more of the characters, like I said, that we haven't seen so far, like the Shang-Chi situation, or by the time we get the second season, we might have new characters like the Fantastic Four or Namor.
I mean, the way Shang-Chi was rolling, they was hinting at some things. So
hey, look, they're diving in their monster bag now. We have crossed the threshold.
I'm kind of curious because I've heard rumors and they're not substantiated, so they're just rumors, literally just rumors, that like there is some wording that there may be some Namor involvement in the next Black Panther movie.
I was about to say, wasn't he like talked about being like the villain in the movie or like?
Yeah, because there's been some casting where
exactly
some Namor adjacent people were casted, but not Namor himself. So it's just kind of like
Namor adjacent.
His girlfriend got
his entourage.
She got casted. His entourage got cast. It's kind of like what Andrew Garfield's doing right now. Like I'm not in No Way Home. It's like yes you are. Stop talking.
Well, it's one of those situations where it's like I can't say if I am or not. I'm screwed either way.
But he should just stop already. Like you're lying. And even if he's not in it, we're still gonna be like we saw you. You know what I mean? Like you were in the background at the one.
It's gonna be a Mandela effect situation.
Yeah.
ain't nothing worse when Paul Bettany trolled us all. Said I can't wait to work with this actor. Was himself.
Well, the only other thing they haven't really done is what if they did like an all villains episode? Because I'm thinking we all saw the superheroes, but what if you did one that has the Yellow Jacket teaming up with the Red Skull, teaming up with
like making their own Legion of Doom situation.
You make a Legion of Doom out of all the villains that have been around so far.
That'd be really cool. Or like, what if most of these villains won? And the kind of crap that would happen.
Well, I would love to see like an Acts of Vengeance series where they all like switch who they're fighting against, and it's like though of course would Spider-Man get the power cosmic exactly at that time, become Captain Universe?
So finally, because we're getting a little close to the end of our time frame here, what so far from the what if stuff do you think we might possibly see? Because they have said that the what if series, as weird and off the wall as it is technically canon with everything that's happened in the Marvel universe, and technically they can bridge to the comics and stuff. But like, what have we seen so far from what if that you think we might see pop up somewhere in the comics, even if it's not more than just a reference, or like, oh look, it's this other Doctor Strange in the background or something like that? Like,
I think Doctor Strange is going to run into Dark Strange.
Oh yeah.
At some point in his multiverse of madness.
I think the Captain Carter one,
there's no way you can't. There's no way you can't bring her into it.
I would love to see more Captain Carter.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was going to be mine too. Like they definitely the plate is set for her to like be in the MCU for sure.
It bad that Funko? Once they make the Funko pop, they gotta make the movie.
They're gonna milk that costume design.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see more floating Paul Rudd head.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You start plucking other different characters from the different episodes. You got Captain Carter running around carrying Paul Rudd's head under her arm. I
would just love to see like Paul Rudd, like both Scotts acting off each other, like Paul Rudd acting off his
head. What if he became MODOK, and he was just like a big goofy MODOK?
That's a mega.
Well, the MODOK already has the show. I'm surprised that was my thing. Like I was surprised that the MODOK show hadn't like crossed over into the what if. Like he would make like a cameo, like Howard the Duck style. You know what I mean? But I think that the thing that'll come back from like the What Ifs is Coward the Duck. I think we're gonna see more of him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like more of a big deal in the next Guardian film.
I would love more Howard the Duck.
That would be a great episode.
I personally think if they were gonna do a Howard the Duck thing in the MCU stuff, it should be like a weekly mystery series a la the 80s murder mysteries. But the first episode is basically
with Howard the Duck.
But the first episode is he'd be Columbo. He'd totally be Columbo.
Oh, you know what you do?
Isn't that technically Darkwing Duck?
Howard the Duck, Creature Commandos. He's got Groot. He's got that big ant, Anthony, or whatever it was.
Anthony.
Howard the Duck, the ant, Groot. What other weird? That
Rocket. They have Rocket.
No, Rocket. That little weird thing from Shang-Chi, which we
Morris.
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 I love Morris.
Yeah. What other animals have they not used? They got to throw those in there.
Those are
Lockjaw if they want.
We could get Cosmo.
Cosmo would be good. Yeah. They forgot about the collector. Yeah.
The cat from Captain Marvel.
Chewie, not
Goose.
Chewie.
Goose.
Yeah, Goose can be in there.
Flurgan.
Yeah, get him in there.
Yeah, like
they can do it. There you go. They got a whole show right here.
But my thought would be literally the first episode is like Endgame is ending and like everyone's going home through their portals and he turns around and the one he's supposed to go home in his clothes is like, well, crap, and just roll credits.
We're here now.
Well, I will say,
does anyone know where Leah Thompson lives?
Is she in this?
Well, they got the Nova Corps. They haven't used them yet. They could do that.
Aren't they all gone? Didn't Thanos kill them?
Yeah, he killed them all.
Most of
we need he attacked warriors at some point.
Yeah, he attacked.
We just know he attacked Xandar. That's all we really know.
Right.
I'd imagine most of the Nova Corps is gone, which is why it'd be really great if our Nova was Denarian Day. And just have John C. Reilly be a major character in the MCU because I love John C. Reilly and it'd be great to have him kind of take up a role like that.
Hey, if
I love that.
Korg got away. I mean, there's things that happened that you didn't see off camera. Korg got away with what's the little guy's name?
With Meek.
Yeah.
Well, they should do the What If. If they don't do What If Captain Marvel fought Rogue and What If 2, then what is the point? Because all of the internet has been asking for it the second we heard we were getting a Captain Marvel movie. And like there's so many deep fakes of her like running into her on the bus. It's just like do it already.
I mean, as soon as we get mutants, that's probably going to be one of the things they do is like so we only got a couple of minutes left. I'm going to let everyone wrap up and talk about what they got going on and do their general, the normal plug stuff. And let's start with the governor.
I am going to actually pause that for a moment because I want to bring up something that's kind of what if-ish, but not exactly. Mm-hmm. Because everyone remembers Loki. Mm-hmm. They've been using Infinity Stones as paperweights. They got all these things. Could you imagine someone breaks into the TVA, gets out of there with a full set of Infinity
Stones? That's a full set, multiple full sets.
Why stop with one set?
Yeah,
take them all.
2 Infinity Gauntlets fully loaded. I mean, I'm just thinking of the nightmare scenario. I don't think they'll do it because I think they don't want to revisit that as a plot device, but I'm just thinking, I want to go to TVA and get some shit.
It was Casey all along.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what a fish is. Okay.
Yeah, all right, Casey.
Sure, buddy.
But yeah, save me for last because I have a lot of shit to say.
Got it. So let's go ahead and start with Yali then.
What do I got going on? I'm back.
Like that.
Back.
Oh, thank God.
Feeling a bit better. You're doing fine, Joseph. Don't worry. Just check me out here on Fandom Spotlite, giving you quality memes, and we got the news coming up for you guys tomorrow, and just I'm kicking it with y'all. I'm glad to be back, and again, thank you for all the well wishes. And if you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter at beautifully nerd. That's one word together. And yeah, let's thanks. Just thanks all. I was really surprised that people messaged me out of nowhere. I was like, oh my god, am I like famous now? Then my son asked me for money. My son asked me for money. He was like, people know who you are now. I was like, if you don't get the fuck out of here, like.
She said, I got money.
Right?
Exposure doesn't pay the bills.
We don't have money.
We don't have money.
I have money.
Mitch, what do you got? What do you got going on?
Well, as a convention producer, I have another convention coming up next week here in Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun Casino Resort called Connecticut GamerCon. 2 full days of video game tournaments, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, role-playing games, thousands of people there, cosplay, you name it, voice actors, all here in Connecticut at ctgamercon.com. That's the 18th and 19th. Hey, that's a thing. Not everybody runs conventions, so
yeah.
It's kind of
that's
cool.
a pretty big deal.
It's a big deal.
Matt, what you got going?
So you know me, guys. It's Matthew Porter on Facebook _menace2 sobriety on Instagram. That is the number 2, not spelled out. I am here representing the Ether podcast. That is short for Elephant in the Room. That is on _Ether podcast on Instagram. And you can listen to us every Sunday on Apple, Spotify, and Anchor.
And Governor over there.
Boom.
Very cool. Well, as you know, in my alter ego, I run Fandom Spotlite. And we have next week, of course, there will be the Walking Dead reactors. We'll probably bring in the underdog, Mr. Williams, is always a fun guest on there. We'll have VCR Redux next Wednesday. We'll have another What If episode. And we have more panel highlights coming down from Dragon Con, full panels from New Jersey Horror Con, and yeah, lots is coming down the pike. Plus, you know, Yali and her team are like pumping out these amazing articles. So go to fandomspotlight.com and spend your time reading. Fuck work.
Let us work so you don't have to.
Exactly.
So, and I'm Joe. I'm your host for this week. Yali will be hosting again next week as we race on to the end of What If. Thank you again for joining us for another episode where chaos reigned because I was the host. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter and various other places, including Instagram. I have to plug my Instagram. Not my Instagram, my LinkedIn. I'm sorry. I'm so
Your
tired,
LinkedIn.
you guys. I'm so tired. We've talked about so much Ant-Man this episode. So
drunk.
Take
So
another
drunk.
break.
I was about to
Guys, don't
one
go
more for the
home.
road.
Stay wherever you are.
One more for the road.
This
That's an
episode
Uber down
sponsored
the
by
hallway.
Lyft.
But thank you for joining us. Make sure to check out all these fantastic creators and the things they're working on, whether it be at convention podcasts or articles or videos. And in general, just follow your fandom and have a great time. And we'll see you later.